this room, we've seen businesses and other companies hard at work trying to find solutions to some of agriculture's biggest problems. Here with us, we are about to hear Farm Beets empowering farmers with affordable digital agriculture solutions, hearing from the creator of Farm Beets himself, the chief scientist from Microsoft Azure Global, Ranveer Chandra.
Hello, everybody. I'm so excited to be here among so many intelligent minds. I'm going to talk about the future of technology, all about in the context of agriculture and ag tech. So, as Taylor mentioned, I'm Ranveer Chandra. I'm the chief scientist of Microsoft Azure Global, and I started Farm Beets. But my background is not in agriculture. I'm a PhD in computer science. But growing up, I grew up in India, and growing up, as it happens in India, you spend a lot of time with your grandparents. So I lived in a city, I grew up there, but every summer and winter vacation, that's 4 months a year, I would be going to my grandparents' farm in North Bihar. So Bihar is one of the poorest states in India. We were 3 brothers and a sister, and every summer and winter vacation we were there. Back then, I did not like agriculture. I did not like anything to do with farming. And the reason was that these farms were far remote. There was no electricity. There were no toilets. It was in the middle of nowhere. But even though I did not like agriculture, I did, the impression of how people farmed in those places is stuck in my mind, the extreme poverty, the primitive forms of farming. And that is what led to the start of the Farm Beets project in 2015. The goal of the Farm Beets project is actually more than that. Our goal is to solve the world's food problem. As many of you know, the world needs more food. That is, the world needs 70% more food by 2050 compared to 2010 levels to feed the growing population of the world. And it's not just about growing more food. We need to grow more good food, nutritious food to give to the people. And we need to get there without harming the planet. We need to get to this increased food production without, even though the amount of arable land is not going to increase, the water levels are going down, the soil's not getting any richer. So how do we get there? The most promising approach to solve this problem is that of data-driven agriculture. What we mean, one of the things that you could enable by data-driven agriculture is you would be able to map every farm in the world and overlay that with data. For example, what is the soil moisture level 6 inches below the soil throughout the farm? What's your soil temperature level? What's the soil nutrient level? If you could build maps like this, it would enable techniques like precision agriculture. You could apply water only where it is needed, pesticide only where it is needed, nutrients only where it is needed. And precision agriculture has been shown to improve yields because you can take care of plants better. It has been shown to reduce cost because you use less fertilizer, less pesticide, less nutrients. It's also better for the environment because you're not wasting water, you're not wasting fertilizer, you're not wasting pesticide. And there are many other benefits of this as well. In fact, with data-driven agriculture, you can come up with AI-based advisories. You can solve the traceability problem. Which farm did this produce come from? How was it grown? The thing is, precision agriculture as a technique was proposed back in the 80s. It's been 30 years since it was first proposed, and the technology still hasn't taken off. And the biggest reason this hasn't taken off is the cost of these data-driven agriculture solutions. Just to give you an example, we work very closely with universities. I was at an expo at UC Davis, and there were several companies talking about their precision ag solutions. And the cheapest package that was available there, just for sensors, were 5 sensors for $8,000 and a recurring cost. For most growers, what is the ROI? What is the return of investment of putting a sensor in the ground? So that's the goal of the Farm Beets project. Our goal is to significantly bring down the cost of these data-driven agriculture solutions to make it affordable for farmers worldwide. And I'll talk about a few reasons why these solutions are expensive and how we are making it more affordable as part of Farm Beets. The first reason existing solutions are expensive is because of connectivity. That is, the farmer's house has some sort of connectivity to the cloud. Most farmers, they pay for broadband. All they have is 1 to 3 megabits per second. The actual farm is a few miles away. Sometimes, even though connectivity might exist when you plant the seeds, by the time the crops grow, there's no internet in the middle of the farm. Then the question is, if you don't have internet, how will I get all of that data, not only from sensors, from drones, tractors, cameras, how will you stream a large amounts of data from the middle of the farm to the farmer's house? To solve this problem, we use a technique that I've been working on since 2005. This is a project I started when I joined Microsoft, was a technology called the TV white spaces. The idea is to embed Wi-Fi signals in empty TV channels. This is over-the-air TV. I don't know how many of you watch over-the-air TV anymore. This is TV you watch using antennas. You know, when you browse through TV, on certain channels, this is a TV with over-the-air antennas. On some channels, you get a transmission. On the other channels, all you see is white noise, nothing coming there. The technology we built was a way to take a Wi-Fi signal and put it in these noisy TV channels in a way that doesn't interfere with your TV reception in an adjacent channel. So you could be watching channel 7 at home. On channel 8, we could be sending Wi-Fi signals. And the reason this is so cool is that compared to Wi-Fi, at the same power level, in UHF TV channels, your signals go 4 times farther. In VHF, they go 12 times farther. And this is just out in free space, just based on physics. If you put it through trees, crops, canopies, your signals just keep going through. In fact, Microsoft has been pushing this for a while. Back in 2010, we had a system and Microsoft Campus that we had put together. There was the FCC chairman who had come to see the demo we had put together. This was made legal in the US in 2010. Since then, we've gone out, connected high schools, hospitals, libraries, dispensaries to the internet using this technology. In fact, in 2017, Microsoft announced an airband initiative through which we are actually partnering with rural ISPs, with companies, and with startups. And we've made a pledge to connect 3 million rural Americans to broadband by 2022. The key insight, by the way, in the context of agriculture is that TV towers are where people are, because people are the ones who watch TV. You'll have TV towers in Indianapolis, in Seattle. The farms are away from the cities. So if you turn on a TV in the middle of a farm, most of the channels are going to be just white noise. The more noisy channels there are, the more capacity we'll get in the middle of a farm. So even if 20 TV channels are free in the middle of a farm, by the way, I was giving this talk at the National Corn Growers Association, and I said 20 TV channels are free. A lady farmer, she raised her hand. She said, I only get 2 TV channels in my farm. So most of the channels in the middle of a farm are just empty. Even if 20 are available, we are talking of close to 500 megabits per second of available capacity in the farm. Usually, like if you do a speed test here with the internet here, you're talking of about 25 to 30 megabits per second. Imagine 10 times more internet capacity, internet speeds in the middle of a farm. The second challenge is with the TV white spaces, you can bring down the cost of connectivity. The other challenge I talked about was, well, if you wanted to build a map of the farm, say what is the soil moisture map, 6 inches below the soil throughout the farm. If you wanted to build an accurate map like that, you would need a sensor every 10 meters. But putting it, because your soil moisture, as some of you might know, varies from row to row. But putting a sensor every 10 meters is expensive to deploy, to manage. It will come in the way of a farmer as a farmer does to day-to-day job, right? Imagine a sensor every 10 meters. To solve this problem, we used AI, artificial intelligence. Our key idea was to use drones. I said this is going to be the cool, we're going to show the cool tech in the context of agriculture. So the way we build these maps, that is, we build a detailed map of a farm using very few sensors, is by using overhead imagery from drones. These drones, you can buy them for about $1,000. They can cover large areas very quickly, and they have a camera at the bottom. And the key technology we built was a way to use artificial intelligence such that if 2 parts of the farm look similar, then they are likely to have similar values. And we encoded that in an artificial intelligence model to then start making these predictions of soil moisture, soil temperature, so that with very few sensors, using artificial intelligence and robotics from drones, you can start building these maps. Well, one of the things I mentioned, my personal passion is to take these technologies, not just to the farmers in the developed world, but to smallholder farmers in Africa, in India. Drones are great, but drones, we ran into some issues when we tried to use drones in places like in Africa. One, they are still expensive. They still cost $1,000. They have limited battery life. Most of the drones you buy, they last only 30 minutes on a single flight. And in some countries, we ran into regulatory issues. That is, in one country in Africa where we had to fly a drone, we needed to get permission from the Ministry of Defense, which wasn't going to happen. So then the question was, how can you get aerial image of a farm if you can't fly a drone? To solve this problem, we decided to go low tech. We are using helium-filled balloons, which are about 4 to 5 feet in diameter, which are tethered to the ground. These things go up 150 to 200 feet. What we built was that weatherproof mount you see attached to the balloon. A farmer can then put their smartphone with their camera facing down and a battery pack attached to it, and this thing can stay up from 4 to 7 days taking images of the same part of the farm. In fact, in places like India and Africa, where labor is inexpensive, a farmer can just walk around with the balloon or put it on a bicycle or a tractor, and then we use computer vision algorithms to stitch this together to create the complete aerial view of the farm. So the way then the system works is you would either fly a drone or a balloon. You would use computer vision algorithms to create these 3D views of farms. This is all running in the cloud or on the edge. We then use the sparse sensors in the ground to train the machine learning model, the artificial intelligence model, which we then use to create these detailed maps of the farm. These are showing micro-level variations within the farm of how your soil moisture, soil temperature, soil nutrients are varying throughout the farm. And we've done this, as I said, for soil temperature, soil moisture, and soil pH. The third challenge, so I talked about how with the white spaces you can bring down the cost of each sensor. The second thing I talked about was using artificial intelligence and drones. You can use much fewer sensors than what you would otherwise need to build these kind of maps from farms. The third challenge is with the white spaces, you can gather a lot of data from the farms. Imagine a farm you go out to, you're getting everything about what's going on in the farm in the farmer's house. But most farmers can't send all of that data from the farm to the cloud because all you have is a very weak internet connection, right? Imagine in rural America trying to download a big movie. It takes forever. Similarly here, if you fly a drone, you'll be generating several gigabytes of data, size of several movies. You can't send all of that to the cloud immediately. It'll take forever to go to the cloud. So then the question was, if you can't send all of this data over to the cloud, how are you going to bring the benefits of all of this data to the farmer? To solve this problem, our key insight was that most farmers, they have PCs. If they don't have a PC at home, we ship them a Windows 10 device running something which we call Azure IoT Edge, which sits in the farmer's house and does a lot of computation in the farmer's house or office and sends summaries to the cloud. In fact, if you look at this big gray box, everything inside that big gray box, all the artificial intelligence algorithms, all the computer vision algorithms, everything is running on a PC in the farmer's house, although all of that data is also synchronized with the cloud, so that when the farmer is not in the house or in the farm, they can still get access to all of that data. So the last one I won't talk much about is power. That is, most of these farms, they don't have power outlets to power your devices. So how will you get the system up and running? Many of you might say, well, use solar power. You can use these solar panels to power your devices. But you have to live in Seattle for one winter to realize why that doesn't always work. We get really cloudy winters. So then the question is, if you can't use solar panels, how can you power all the devices in the farm? So we've come up with some very intelligent techniques where we have a small computer next to the solar panels. What it does is it looks at the predicted weather forecast. If it's going to be sunny, everything just runs as normal. If it's going to be cloudy, it slows down the entire system so that the system can continue to run. And we showed that using this intelligence algorithm, we could get a system to go from 4 cloudy days to 30 cloudy days. That's another benefit of living in Seattle. You can do these experiments that last 30 cloudy days. So we've deployed, so this started as a research project in 2015 at Microsoft, and we did several deployments, as you can see, from farms ranging from 0.5 acres all the way to 9,000 acres. These are just some statistics of the deployments that we've done. This is one example. This is from a farm in upstate New York. This is a 4-kilometer stretch. The farmer wanted to know how his cows are doing once they're out in pasture. What we did was we flew the drone, we transmitted the data over the TV white spaces to a PC sitting in the farmer's house, and within 30 minutes, we can start flagging things like from left to right on the screen, the grass is growing back well, there is a water puddle that needs to be fixed before the next planting season, the cows are pooping well, which is also important information for the farmer. This is deep learning AI on cow poop. So we trained the model on what a cow poop looks like so that on an image, you can identify where cow poop is. This is where the cows are. This is a stray cow that needs to be herded in. All of this within 30 minutes of flying the drone. This is a small farm close to Microsoft campus. We do several demos in this farm. We had quite a few teachers from some of the FFA chapters who we took to this farm. Bill Gates was at this farm last year. He blogged about this in Gates Notes. If you guys go to his blog, you'll find one of the blogs is on Farm Beets and a video of him. So this is a farmer. This is a smallholder farmer who sells his produce in the farmer's market. We show the farmer these beautiful pictures. We overlay this with data. For example, this is a soil moisture map. We were able to flag that the bottom left part of the farm is moist, even though we did not have a sensor over there. This is after the farmer had applied lime. We were able to flag that the dark parts of the farm are still acidic. The farmer needs to reapply lime before planting the seeds. This is another scenario in upstate New York where we have cameras in barns, checking how the cows are doing, streaming this information so that if a cow is sick, immediately you get an alert. This is like a baby monitor for cows. So we built the entire system in research, end to end, bringing down the cost of these solutions, coming up with innovations. These are cutting edge technologies like drone, computer vision, AI, robotics, all of this stuff, bringing it in the context of agriculture. The way we are building it right now, last year I moved from Microsoft Research to the products, and the way we are building this right now is in Azure. Everything you're seeing in green here is what is built by Farm Beets. The blue parts are Azure, and the yellow parts are built by partners. And we are working with partners, with sensor partners, with drone companies, with satellite companies, weather companies, getting all of that data in the cloud. With Farm Beets, what you'll be able to do is you'll be able to specify a farm in the cloud. A farm here, what we mean is a plot as a polygon. And for that farm, we then get all of the data from different sensor providers, from drone providers, everything in one place. And then we combine these different data streams, like the sensor fusion technique I talked about, to create these new views, new insights for farmers. Of course, Microsoft is not an agriculture company, so we don't expect to sell something directly to the farmers. The way it will get to the growers is through partners. And we are working with partners, these yellow blocks on top, who are creating these solutions for the agriculture industry. I talked about research. We are building some of the things in product. And we are taking a complete view at Microsoft, taking it all the way from research to actually creating societal impact. And some of the things you're seeing here, I talked about Airband. There's another initiative called AI for Earth. You're seeing the work done by Microsoft Philanthropies and AI for Good here as well. In fact, at the last FFA convention, we talked about the Farm Beets student kit. I know quite a few of you are using it and giving us feedback. We are doing a refresh of this student kit right now, making it even more usable for the high school chapters. And you should stop by the Farm Beets for Students booth. There's Ankur, Karen, and our team in that corner. Please stop by, give feedback on how we can make it more usable for students like yourself, for teachers, educators, on how can you build a curriculum around the Farm Beets technology. So our goal with Farm Beets, just to summarize, is to enable data-driven agriculture. The future we envision is that agriculture is going to be more data-driven. And one of the messages I wanted to leave you all with is this example of this farmer in eastern Washington. One of the trends we see in agriculture is the aging population of farmers. A lot of the next generation of farmers don't want to stay in farming. They want to go to the cities, take up new jobs, because that's what's more exciting. All the developments are happening in that space. It's not just in the US, by the way. It's a worldwide phenomenon in India, in Africa as well. The thing with what we've seen with Farm Beets is that now we are bringing all the tech back to agriculture so that agriculture is cool again. So this particular farmer I'm talking about, he's a 5th generation wheat farmer in eastern Washington. Like many of the next generation farmers, he left farming. He came to University of Washington, got his undergraduate degree in engineering. He joined Microsoft. And then because of technology, he went back to farming. And now he's actually using using farm beets. He's gotten a drones pilot's license, he flies drones, and he's actually seeing benefits in his farm. He used 50% less spraying, herbicide spray in his farm based on all of these insights. In fact, he tried a new technique in parts of his farm based on these insights, and he's getting double the yield. So that's the future we envision, and for all of you here, the message I want to leave you with is the future of tech. A lot of it can be discovered for farming, and it can help make not just agriculture cool again, it can actually solve some of the world's hardest problems around food. So do reach out to us, anyone at Microsoft. I'll be here for the rest of the day. Would love to chat with you all and talk more about tech in ag. Thank you.
Awesome. Let's get one more round of applause for Ranveer Chandra. Now, I learned a ton of interesting information from that talk, and I'm sure around the room we have a ton of questions that are just in our heads. So at this point, we're going to open up the floor for questions. There should be some mics floating around, and so I'm sure we all have several questions for Mr. Chandra. So if you do, let's throw a hand up in the air, and I'm sure he'd love to give you an answer to that.
There's a question there. Yeah.
Where would we be able to, okay, so for kids, where would we be able to find out which of your collaborators would we be able to find out where all of this resources are?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, good question. And so we would want to partner with you, right? This is one place where we are looking to learn as well. So that's why you should stop by our booth in that corner, the Farm Beets for Students. You'll learn a lot about the things we are building, and you can add your inputs as well. We want to listen from what your feedback is and modify and create some of those experiences so that it makes it easier for you. And in general about Farm Beets, the product, you can search on the internet. We do keep posting updates on where we are on our trials. We create stories, and do reach out to any of us here. My email is ranveer@microsoft.com. Any of you, just feel free to shoot me an email. Happy to respond as well. Yeah.
Hi, good day, everyone. My name is Khadijah Blyden. I'm here with the Virgin Islands. My question is, how would FFA advisors mimic your technology on a more feasible scale to get students engaged and prepared for integrating into such technology?
Yeah, no, that's a good question. And one of the things we are doing, and that's why we've started this Farm Beets for Students effort, where we realize that what we are building, a lot of the product stuff that you saw there, is for professionals. These are for growers. For students, we realize that we would want to make these simpler to use and things where you can add a learning experience on top of what we are doing with Farm Beets. And that's the kind of experience we're building with the new version of the Students Kit. So last year what we did was we created a kit which was based on Raspberry Pi, sensors, some code, which we got some educators to use. We actually had a few hackathons around it, got quite a good feedback around that. Now what we are doing is we're realizing that what we built was really good for universities. We want to make it even simpler to use for high schools, and that's some of the things that we're building. Please do stop by the booth. There's a small design challenge. I would encourage you to take the challenge and give us feedback. The more we learn, the better we'll be able to make it. Yeah. Yeah, there's a question at the back.
Okay. I'm Kennedy Gallagher, and I'm from Brown County FFA chapter. It's in central Illinois. My question is, how do we access those TV white spaces for use on our own farms?
Yeah. So that's something where we are actually making it easier now to start using it so that people can use it themselves. The way we are taking it to market right now is through partnerships. So we've created partnerships in different states with rural ISPs. One of the ISPs, I think, in Illinois is we're working with is Watch Communications. So we would work with them to start deploying this in the farm in the region where you are. But, and we are continuing to work on that to expand our partnerships throughout the US, in fact, worldwide. So it would be through our partners. And if you could send information about exactly where it is, we can let you know who the partners are in that region with whom you can deploy. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Hello, my name is Nai from the Arabian Mountain chapter, and I wanted to know what inspired you to start any of this.
Yeah, so as I was saying initially, my background of growing up in spending a lot of time in these farms in India, which are far remote, and the life there wasn't easy. It was, as I was saying, there was no electricity, no toilets, and spending 4 months a year in those farms, it conveyed a lot of information. I was, through all the projects that I do at Microsoft, I try to have this tie back of all the projects so that they can impact the people who live in those parts of the world. Of course, it will take a long time for this to get there, but that's the inspiration. That's what keeps me going towards solving that problem. And because I've seen extreme amounts of poverty, extreme, very primitive forms of farming, like bullock-driven tractors, and this is what they still use. Like just one farmer in the entire county has a tractor. Everyone else still uses primitive forms of farming. So unless you make it more affordable, they won't be able to use technology. And even though we know the benefits of tech. So that's the inspiration. That's what we want to get to.
What incredible and thought-provoking questions that we've gotten from everyone. Thank you all so much for really putting some thought into those. And thank you for answering those so thoughtfully. This has been really wonderful.
Thank you.
One last time, let's get a big round of applause for Ranveer Chandra.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
And Ranveer, as a token of our appreciation, as you're exiting the stage, what we have for you is a very special token of our appreciation. This cutting board was created and designed by an FFA member himself. Cody Kroll, Coy Kroll from the Mount Carmel FFA chapter in Illinois, and he started his woodworking business as part of an FFA internship experience. So if you'll see that, and always remember us.
Yes, thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you.
This has been just a mind-blowing session. So much incredible information, so many things to have been learned here. This Blue Room is unlike anything else here at Convention, and we always want to continue trying to make it better and make it better in the future. And so before we leave here today, let's make sure there's going to be some QR codes that are going to pop up around the room before we leave. And so before we exit the room, let's all make sure to remember to take our phones out, hold open our camera app, and that QR code should just go ahead and register through. We want your feedback. We want to make this Blue Room better and better every single year here at Convention. And for the cherry on top of this wonderful session, let's get a drum roll going if we are excited to see who wins that Xbox. We are going to invite Mr. Mike Egan from Microsoft to join us on stage for the drawing. Who's going to take this Xbox home? Let's find out.
Taylor, thank you, thank you. FFA, we are so excited to be here. Thank you for being here. I got to tell you, as a kid who grew up in a small ag town, I picked raspberries every summer. Full circle for me this past summer, our local FFA sponsored the sheep riding competition at our state fair. My son Jack, 8 years old, after 3 years attempting, rode the 8 seconds, fully out. I stand here today as the proud father of the sheep riding champion of Washington State. So thank you right there. I should just drop the mic and leave, but that is, he will take anyone on. Folks, we are excited. You heard from Ranveer, who has really put Farm Beets into practice for us. We are joined by an incredible team here at Microsoft. Kate Bankin, our vice president, is here with an entire team. We're energized every day by all the work that you do. This is our second year. Do you enjoy the Blue Room? Has it been good? Can I just hear a sense of, all right. Well, we're here to learn from you, so please keep doing what you're doing. Go out there, test things like Farm Beets for us over the next year. Tell us what works, tell us what doesn't work, because all of you will be the creators, the startup founders. You'll be the companies on the rings of this circle in years to come that really drive the farm of tomorrow. So we're so excited to partner. All right, without further ado, you just want to get to this Xbox. You all work hard. You need to game in the evening and calm down a little bit. So here it is. our winner, you had to answer 5 questions correctly out there in the waiting room. And the winner has to have a name that starts with a C and ends with a Y, and is not a Kathy, but a Coy. Coy Horton is Coy with us today. Coy, get up here. Grab your brand new Xbox One S. Here you go. Congratulations. Hey, have a great week, FFA. We're excited for all you do. Energized by you. Thank you. Taylor.